plantation up.
The one that's due tomorrow?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the forest is on fire!
Let's save it.
But we don't know anything about it.
We'll find out.
The Maracas and Benedict plantation is managed by the Northwest Conservancy. The area is approximately 6.5 hectares and contains both natural vegetation and a Caribbean pine plantation, which was established over 20 years ago.
Tell us about the original forest and about the species that were present.
The original vegetation that existed in the Maracas, San Benedict region, was that of natural forest. Some of the species might have been, say, juniper, watercare, crapo. There's just a few of the mixed hardwood species that we have. But over the past 20 years, within the past 20 years actually, there was a fire. And the fire that actually burnt a majority of the Maracas and Benedict area. And because of that fire, a majority of the vegetation were removed, leaving a bare slope and very limited natural vegetation in the area. Species at the point in time that because of the very poor soil conditions, the steep slopes, pine is one of those species that is able to grow very quickly in soil with poor nutrients as well as dry conditions. When the fires had occurred, at that point in time, the Forestry Division had not had any established nursery. Pine was chosen by the senior supervisors of the Forestry Division. The recommendation for pine in the area, right, resulted in the formation of the Komoto pine nurseries as well as other nurseries within the Forestry Division as a way of establishing young seedlings to be planted out onto the northern range where fire had occurred, thereby destroying the areas. The pine seedlings were taken and planted along the northern range in hopes that they would be able to protect the steep slope from the intense rainfall, which would result in heavy soil erosion in the Maracas and Benedict region.
Although there are certain advantages to the pines, there are also drastic consequences. For example, the pine needles itself has an oil or resin on them, and when they fall and they decompose, this oil or resin secretes, and if a fire starts within the pine plantations, these oils actually fuels the fire, and this fire now spreads to the natural flora of the mountains as well as newly established plantations. There's also this oil or resin on the inner barks of the pine trees, which has the same consequences as the pine needles.
The establishment of these plantations in the St. Benedict area has created many employment opportunities. Over the past 20 years, the Forestry Division has hired many daily paid workers to manage, maintain, and further establish these plantations.
We have fire patrols in the different plantations. This usually occurs from the 1st of March till the end of May. There are shift workers in the Forestry Division who work on a roster, and they are rostered from Monday to Sunday, because what happens is that some of these fires are so intense that they actually tend to burn hectares. We have a ground crew, and the ground crew will actually make a report to the superiors, and they would inform them of the fire in the area and how severe the fire is.
But specifically, in the absence of the natural vegetation post the forest fires in Mountain Benedict, of course there would have been a large gap in terms of ecosystem functioning, and well, it would have affected wildlife, fauna, flora, etc. So in terms of environment, there would have been a huge impact. Of course, the soil would have then therefore be very vulnerable, and that's why I reckon that the reforestation event was so important. In the absence of the forest cover, the soil would be exposed. Okay, so once the soil is exposed, that means erosion would be a problem, right? And of course, the absence of the pollinators, the absence of the wildlife, the absence of the fauna and flora would have also severely affected the ecosystem in that particular area. As the pine dies back, we should perhaps consider replacing the pine with more natural vegetation. I would like for there to be more education concerning the importance of forests and what it is, the effects and the ramifications of the effects of forest fires in Trinidad.
It's Captain Conservation.
And forest view! To the rescue!
Let's go save the forest. To the rescue. It's Captain Conservation. It's Captain Conservation.